"Ma'am, without ID, we have no choice," the officer said, his hand already reaching for the cuffs. Rain fell steadily on the gas station lot, soaking everything in a cold, grey silence. The woman stood still beside her stalled SUV, her clothes damp, her hands visible. "You can't just arrest someone for forgetting their wallet," she said softly, her voice calm despite the chill in the air. "I'm just trying to get home." The second officer, standing beside the cruiser, stepped forward with less patience. "We got a call about a suspicious person loitering in the area. You match the description. No ID, no name, no answers. You're coming in." She didn't argue. She didn't resist. She just lowered her eyes and let the cuffs click around her wrists. Not out of guilt, but because she knew what they didn't. No one asked who she was. No one stopped to think that maybe something didn't add up. The bystanders who'd seen her quietly trying to call roadside assistance from a broken-down vehicle now just watched as she was led to the back seat of a police car. A woman alone, arrested not for what she did, but for how she looked and what she lacked in that moment. At the station, they didn't process her properly. They didn't call it in. They left her sitting on a hard bench in the lobby, wrists still cuffed, while the two arresting officers exchanged casual conversation about paperwork. One of them muttered, "Why's she being so quiet? If I were innocent, I'd be yelling." The other shrugged. "Some people think silence makes them look smarter." She wasn't silent to look smart. She was silent because she knew her name was about to do all the talking. 37 minutes later, the front door creaked open. Not fast, not loud. Just deliberate. Heavy. A man stepped inside, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in a black suit still damp from the rain. His expression was unreadable, like steel wrapped in calm. He didn't ask where she was. He didn't shout. His eyes found her immediately, sitting alone, hands cuffed, back straight. Then his gaze turned to the officers. Before anyone could speak, the police chief emerged from his office. His confident stride halted mid-step when he saw the man in the doorway. His face went pale. "Director Hale," he said quietly, almost choking on the title. The room fell completely still. One officer dropped his pen. Marcus Hale didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He stepped past the stunned front desk and walked directly to the bench, pulling a key from his pocket. Without a word, he knelt, unlocked the cuffs from his wife's wrists, and gently helped her to her feet. The silence in the room was louder than any siren. That's when it clicked for them. The woman they'd handcuffed in the rain, the woman they dismissed and ignored. She was Dr. Lena Hale, renowned cryptologist, co-lead of the National Cyber Defense Initiative, and one of the highest-level intelligence officers in the country. The officers stood frozen as realization washed over them like cold water. Marcus turned to the chief. "Your team detained a federal officer," he said, voice low, deadly calm, "denied her rights, prevented phone access, and never once asked her name." The chief looked down, his lips moving but no words coming out. There was no defense, no excuse, just the kind of guilt that comes when power meets proof. Lena looked at the two officers who arrested her. She wasn't angry. She didn't scold. Her eyes held something much heavier than rage, disappointment. "I've spent 20 years serving this country," she said. "I've broken codes in war zones, sat across from spies, and helped stop 4 cyber attacks that could have shut down our cities. But you saw me wet, alone, and quiet. And you assumed I was a threat." They said nothing. She walked out beside her husband. The door clicked shut behind them, and in the silence that followed, not a single officer moved. The apology was never spoken. It didn't have to be, because sometimes the weight of your mistake is measured in silence, and sometimes the most powerful person in the room doesn't scream for respect. They simply stand, uncuff, and leave you standing in the wreckage of your own assumptions. Before we wrap up this story, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. Don't just scroll, we're reading every single one. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comments.